Audio is rolling.
Audio is rolling. We're not cutting again, Mwarv.
Okay.
We're not cutting again.
Let's do this.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to another amazing session of the Playhouse. Yep, I already said it's amazing before it was amazing because we know it's going to be amazing. With me, I have got a good friend, but more than that, I am more than privileged to have one of Kenya's leading photographers. Actually, let me take that back. One of Africa's leading photographers. Actually, let me take that back. Rewind, select the DJ, come again. One of the world's leading photographers. And you will hear the story. His journey has been amazing. So without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, put your hands together for Mwangi Kirubi. You've started doing it, eh? You guys are a fan of the Players, Baka, you know.
I need to blow my own trumpet.
Mwarv, first and foremost, thank you so much for accepting to be on the Playhouse. Huh?
Thanks for the pressure, man.
No, you thank you for the pressure, but
to actually be on the Playhouse.
Setting up, Yani, I've set up Yani for an hour. Because I'm like, hey, is this angle right? Is the lighting okay?
Okay.
Yeah, but the content I know is definitely going to be amazing. I met with you on Tuesday because you were giving me some feedback about the Playhouse, and I was like, you know, as we're talking and you're telling, and I'm asking you, oh, by the way, this, that, the other, this, that, you're showing me photos of the Kenyan music industry. I'm like, listen, you know, the Playhouse is not just about musicians, eh? It's about people who have built and played a part in building the entertainment, actually, to be honest, the entertainment music industry. So a lot of photographers have been commenting on the Playhouse. I'm like, you know what, let's do them some justice and bring one of the pioneers that they follow. So Mwarv, I like starting this thing, but then I'm going to call him Mwarv. You guys call him Mwangi Kirubi.
It's good. Many people call me Mwarv. This is on YouTube, so on YouTube I'm known as Mwarv, so it's good.
It's cool, eh?
Yeah.
So Mwarv, I like starting this thing way back. And for you, I'll ask, when did the love and the passion for photography start?
I think it started around 2004, 2005. And there was this, that was before Instagram, before Facebook.
Serious?
Yes.
No, you said 2004?
2004.
Yo, that's
I was actually on my second job then. I was working as a writer at Kiss FM. And usually...
Hold on, Mwarv. 2004?
Yeah.
Before that, throughout primary, throughout high school, you had never thought of...
I had sort of like, I had an interest in video work. Because I even remember I got my parents to buy us a home video camera. And we used to record different things, birthdays, visitors coming, things like those.
You got your parents to buy your
home video camera.
Okay, let's talk about that, because by the time you're asking me, I would ask my parents to buy me a Sega Mega Drive.
Whatever that was.
Yeah, computer game, Nintendo.
So, and I don't know why I picked on video, wanting to get a video camera.
How old were you at this time?
I must have been in college, so maybe like in the 20s.
Okay.
20s, maybe early 20s, actually, or maybe like around 19.
Yeah.
19. Here's the thing. Yes, so there's one thing that I recorded with my video camera, like a couple of things that I've never told people.
That's what the Playhouse does, man.
When the August 98 bomb blast happened, I was one of the video guys on the scene.
What?
And I recorded footage of a guy of Arab origin being arrested. And I sold that footage to Reuters for $100. I was holding, in 1998,
yes,
I was holding $100 bill because of something that I was passionate about, which was not just recording.
Okay, Mwarv.
And I think I have that footage somewhere. I think
we will see.
we'll put it
in the archives.
Yeah.
One of the things I love about Mwarv is the way he archives. But you see, you've already used the word passion. That's what I'm trying to. I'm trying to get the genesis of that thing. When's that moment that you started saying, "Yo, I like watching," or "I would like to be behind the camera"? By the time you own your own camcorder, that is already you're already too ahead. For me, that's I would like. In high school, did you do anything to do with videography? Were you in art?
No, we didn't have art in high school. It was Kagumo High School in Nyeri.
Okay.
So the closest thing to art we had was woodwork and metalwork. I did metalwork because at least it had some drawing in it. Outside class, I used to do a lot of caricatures, drawing, like we had a school magazine or something for the press club, a publication that used to come out every week or every month. So I used to do a lot of drawing for that. I also used to address envelopes using calligraphy. And I used to be given 5 bob. 5 bob was a quarter loaf, man.
You're in Kagumo, huko Nyeri.
Yes. 5 bob. So at least I was able to supplement my pocket money through calligraphy. There's one guy who was actually throwing it out to a chick, but his handwriting wasn't too good, so I got to read his handwriting, and then I'll use my handwriting to actually draw the darts for the chile. I hope they got married eventually, because at least
that was high school love.
That was high school.
Okay, to understand a little bit of, was anybody, your dad, your mom, do you have your siblings? In fact, I've just had you talking to your sis. Yeah. Was any of them in? Did you see? First of all, are you the firstbborn?
No, I'm second.
You're second.
I'm second.
Second of?
We have four. A girl, a lady, me, my bro, and then sis I was just speaking with right now on phone. Now, here's the thing I didn't know, that in the 60s and 60s, my dad was actually a photographer. He was a paparazzi.
In the 60s?
Yes, and he didn't tell me this until sometime, maybe like 8 or so years ago. I was just told me, hey dad, let's have coffee. And we're talking, and he tells me, hey, by the way, I used to take photos. I'm like, Dad, you haven't had this information from me for so long. But yeah, he used to do that. He had one of those film cameras and used to go around taking photos, mostly of family and other people. Like take photos, goes, processes, and then now sells.
Yes.
There's even cousins of mine who knew him, cousins who are much older than I.
Yeah.
He said, yeah, Uncle Peter used to come and take photos of us. I was like, so he did, yeah. So I think that's why maybe the whole thing about documenting, I got it from my dad.
He was good at documenting.
He was good at documenting and good at keeping records, archives and all that. He never worked as a photographer. He worked for Coca-Cola. That's the last job he did. I think he left in '95. Before that, he was in marketing.
Yes.
He was in marketing. So that's why I got my passion for documenting. So even when I was buying my camera, my camcorder, getting a camcorder from my folks, and then later on in my first job, saving up to be able to buy myself a camera, flying to Dubai to buy a camcorder.
You guys know. So when was the first time you held a camera or a camcorder?
That must have been around 98. Maybe let's talk about maybe 96, 97 when we got a first camcorder from my folks, and used to do a lot of. It was mostly home video. Nothing big, nothing major. Apart from now, the 98th bomb blast that I was there. There was a neighbor who was putting up Magendo construction and the house. It was one Sunday morning. I was just chilling at home, and then I had and the house came tumbling down, and I quickly ran out and I recorded that and took it to KTN. I got paid 2 Gs for that.
So let's talk about then that August bomb blast thing. Were you in town walking around with your camcorder?
I was actually in college at BIFA in Buruburu. And so after break, the principal summoned all of us to the hall and said, there's been a bomb that's happened in town. In fact, the news then was that everything has been flattened. Bank is flat. There was no Twitter, there was no way of verifying all the information that we're getting. So he just said, because this is a big thing that has happened, and we do not know people's relatives, families working in town, and all that, we don't know where guys are, everybody just go home. So I walked home to Donholm. It was 20 minutes. Got home. It was during the August holidays, because I remember my sister who I just spoke to was actually at home.
Yes.
I said, there's been this thing that has happened in town. Camcorder is charged me, I'm just going to see what's happening. So the fact that I had a camera
Made you look like
I was
crew.
able to go through past some security checks, because there were many security checks like APs, GSU, NYS had actually now started cordoning off the area.
Yeah.
But because I had a camera, it granted me access.
What?
So I was able to go through that and get to the front line where everything was happening, where there were guys being pulled out of the buildings, and then now this guy being arrested, and he was arrested and passed right in front of me, and I recorded that. So now later on that evening or the following day,
You didn't have first of all, you just went with your camcorder.
Yeah, just with a camcorder. That evening or the following day, the media, during a press conference, the police were asked, has anybody been arrested? And they said, no one has been arrested. But I was on scene and I saw somebody being arrested and being loaded into a police Land Cruiser. So now my neighbor then was the famous sports presenter Bernard Otieno. He lived across from us. So I told him, by the way, Bernard, I have this footage. What do you think anybody could want it? He said, just give me a second. So he called now his guys at Reuters. He said, yeah, there's a buddy of mine who has this footage. You guys might be interested in it. So I went to town. Reuters then was at a finance house in town.
Yeah.
And I forget the name of the editor then. I took the footage to him, they reviewed it. We signed a contract that I will not pass the footage to anyone else. It was like, sir, $100 cash. $100 then was like, I think 78 shillings.
Yeah.
But I got 7,800 bob of money I did not have for
illegally
30
walking with a
seconds.
camera towards
30 seconds of
a
footage.
terrorism site.
Yeah.
So what did that do to you? What did that spark in you? Like, I mean, how old are you this time?
I was
You're
21.
So you're just finished. No, you're in uni.
I was in college.
Yeah, you're in college.
Yeah.
I mean, you've made
design school. 7 Gs. I've made 7 Gs just like that.
Whoa. Did that make you want to get into film?
By the time I was getting a camcorder, I had a passion for I did want to get into film. And I recall like several times walking home or in town, I'd see a film studio's truck.
Yeah.
And I'm like, man, it must be good to actually work in that place called film studios. Then later on in my first job, working at Ogilvy, it used to be called Ogilvy and Mather.
Yes.
I got to actually go to film studios and actually see a whole commercial being shot. And I think, naive me, I walked onto set as filming was ongoing. I don't know, I spoiled the shot because I didn't know me. I was just there with like a notebook trying to take notes, like, oh wow, what's happening? It was an ad for Miss. There was this sort of like deodorant for chicks called Miss. So it was being shot, and there was this lady who was saying she wants to become a radio presenter or something of the sort. So I walked into the set as they were filming. And those days it was film. You guys, it's like digital that you can just erase the file. This is film. Like, so, yeah. But that was back then. But I did not get to work at film studios or anything. But at least I got to see now things actually happening, and then getting to know that it's not just about having a camcorder. There's bigger things that actually need to happen for me to realize my dream. Okay,
so what happens now when you leave? In college, you're doing graphic design?
I'm doing graphic design.
Yeah.
But when I applied for jobs, there were no openings for graphic designers in the place where I got my first job at Ogilvy, at O&M.
O&M being...
Ogilvy and Mather.
Yeah.
It's an ad agency. So the creative director then was called Paul Sullivan. He asked me, he told me, we don't have an opening for a graphic designer, but we have an opening for a writer. Might you be interested? I said, yeah, sure. I'd like to try it out. So yeah, and then I got my first job that was in 1999. Whoa. 1999 February, I think, is when I started. And I worked there for 4 years.
Okay, so now you start working. What explain your job in terms of copywriting?
My job was basically a client comes in with a brief, say we'd like to sell this product. Can you guys come up with an ad that will creatively communicate the benefits of this product so that we can actually now put it out there. So coming up with scripts for radio commercials, scripts for adverts. There's even one ad we did for PowerTab. That one, we just insert it here.
Na majukwani pale kwenye ulingo namuona bwana PowerTab na mwenzake pale bwana Neti wakijishasha kabisa wakingoja kumenyana na mbu hawa ambao ni hatari kabisa. Kama unavyojua ni kwamba ugonjwa huu wa malaria umeua watu wengi sana. Na kutibu neti yako na PowerTab, weka tembe ndani ya beseni ya lita 1 ya maji na
Changanya neti yako na uyanike kwenye kivuli. Na akina mama msahau kusoma maagizo yaliyo kwenye pakiti. Anahitaji msaada wa bwana PowerTab.
Namuona pale ameingia ndani ya ulingo bwana PowerTab na amemnyanyua pale mbu huyu na amemnyanyua na kumrarua kabisa, kummaliza kabisa. Mbu mwenyewe amelala chini akiwa hali mahututi kabisa.
Tibu neti yako na PowerTab leo. Nguvu za kuangamiza malaria.
I think it's the only ad that I have that we actually shot, but there are others for Hair Glow. We did ads for Royco, Mchuzi Mix. So that was 4 years of doing ads, working in the creative industry. And by far, I think O&M was the best training ground for me as a creative, because now I got to see what actually goes into. By the time you're seeing that 30 seconds on your screen, there's been months and months of work that has gone into that. It's not just somebody came up with an idea and put it out there. It's very focused, very, very, very targeted.
So are you seeing photography in this time being done at the agency and thinking of film? Because I remember you've talked about your camcorder. Are you seeing it happening and being like, I wouldn't mind leaving this copywriting and doing that?
There was the desire to get into film, to get into filming, into shooting movies and all that. But it was, number one, it was a tough market to crack back then. There
were no 5Ds and...
No. Dude, 5D is an infant. Because when we started, there was no digital back then. It was all films. The Aries, they were all shooting with 35mm film.
Yeah. And
I don't even think anyone ever shot anything worth for less than $1 million bob, because the film was shot here. They got directors from the UK and from South Africa or Italy. If it was like beauty products, they used to use Italian directors because they were very good with beauty stuff. Other stuff, they used guys from either SA or now the UK. They used to fly in directors because nobody could handle those film cameras. Flying a guy here into Kenya, they shoot, and then the film is sent either to Italy, UK, or SA for processing. And then now we'd send somebody from here to go see the edit, those sides, to now check how the edit is, make the changes required, and then now come back with a Betacam. Betacam.
Explain what a Betacam is.
Betacam is a big kind of like tape. It was tape. And then they even had digital beta later on, but it was a tape. It was the best quality I think you could get on tape. There was VHS. This was before mini DV came out.
This is before mini DV.
So
we're talking still about 2000 now, maybe.
2000 or thereabouts. Yeah, and then now mini DV came out, and mini DV was good enough for broadcast quality. Like you were shooting just for TV, you could actually shoot an ad on mini DV because it was digital.
Yes.
So there was some quality that it had that analog did not have.
Okay, so you're working at O&M, you're working at OM, things are going. Are you rising up the ranks? Or you're still copywriter?
No. Copywriter. I got in and I hit the ceiling immediately.
But copywriters were rare.
Yes, they were there, but
were rare.
Not really, because I was working with industry greats, like Teddy Mudusi, Eric Ndavi. These are guys who are like...
You were with these guys?
I was with them. I was the junior guy. In fact, I was a junior copywriter.
Yes.
Because compared to them, I wasn't at their level.
Yes.
And then there was a guy called Damien Linklater who came in from Australia. So I was below them.
Okay. So you spent how many years at?
Spent 4 years
From
at O&M at 1999 to 2003.
Okay.
So just the last thing that I worked on at O&M was the NAC campaign for 2002 elections, 2003 elections. Yeah. Insert those graphics here.
I like this. You better keep saying that. We'll know where to put them. Is it the way, for guys
So
who...
yeah, I worked on the NAC campaign. I was the Swahili writer for the posters, press ads, and billboards.
Still at O&M now?
Still at O&M. Still at O&M. It's the last job
that you did before.
that I did.
Yeah.
Then come February 2003, I joined KISS.